letting go every moment. Life is ceaseless movement. Everything now is different in some way to what it was yesterday. Life moves every moment. Why don't we move like life, with the speed or love that lets go every moment? The answer is in the two words, life and existence. Life is in existence, but existence is not life. Life is new every moment. Existence also should be new every moment, but we hold on to it and it becomes a pain. If you don't hold on to existence, you are the life in it, new every moment. Then the two become a harmony. Then being is joyous. The harmonious interchange between life within and existence without depends on you keeping your psyche free-flowing. The personality clogs the psychic system, which is naturally ever moving. The personality freeze-frames existence. We've freeze-framed our houses, our possessions, our children, and made them mine. We hang on to them as though they'd disappear if we didn't cling to them. It's all due to the insecure personality that feels it must hold on or lose its identity. So we fight people or countries to hold on to what we have. But life as we see it around us, behind all the personable people and their personal problems, holds on to nothing. Life lets go every moment of the last moment. Now we come to the crucial question. How can you learn to let go and be life that is new every moment? How do you start to live joyously? You have to get more energy. The remarkable thing is that all the energy you require is already in you now, but it's being wasted by your personality. There is only so much energy in your system, your body. It's not unlimited. But there's sufficient to enable you to realize the truth, that is, to return you to the joyous life behind the mask, your original, vast, and untroubled state of being. You are dissipating your energy out into existence through the personality, instead of using it to stay in your reality. The mask is kept on by energy going out. As you deny the projection of the personality, you conserve energy. When enough energy is retained, the mask collapses. It loses its independent and selfish existence. Now I'm going to show you where you're wasting this energy. Since you will then be conscious of it, because you've seen it in your own experience, you'll begin to stop the leakage. You'll have more energy to address other wasteful mannerisms, attitudes, and behavior. Gradually, you'll become more conscious, more responsible, more authentic. Your character will reveal itself, and your personality will be less in control of your life. Here are 10 things for you to do, or stop doing. They will conserve your energy. To begin with, it will be hard. As you get deeper into the process, you may become confused. The personality will always be trying to bamboozle you and make you give up. But keep going. The 10 exercises will always be here, along with this tape, to remind you and guide you. And your own undeniable experience that it's working will be the demonstration of the truth. You'll notice you're lighter, easier, more joyous, and a new harmony will start pervading your whole life, within and without. Exercise 1. Give up talking about the past. The personality lives off the past, feeds off you telling your story. Each time you hear yourself indulging in this, stop. The more you practice, the easier it gets. You may lose some friends who'll say you're getting dull. you're losing your former interesting and stimulating personality. You'll know by this that you're doing well, going home. There will be times when you have to refer to the past. To break the old habit, initially, you must be extreme. The extremity is not to say anything that refers to the past. This includes what happened a minute ago, unless there's a purely practical reason for speaking, like, "Did you post that letter?" And one more thing. Don't tell your sad story. By stopping talking about the past, you'll eventually stop thinking about the past. That will be the beginning of the end of worry. Exercise 2. Be true to the situation, not your personal likes and dislikes. The personality lives off your emotional swings between what you like and what you don't like. It uses the pendulum dynamic to keep itself going. You can't be sure of your likes and dislikes. They change with experience and the years. So this is what you do. Be true to the situation, to the event or circumstance you're facing. What does the situation require? It may not be what suits you personally. For example, if you're employed to do a job, be true to what you're paid for, not to whether you like it or don't like it. If you insist on reacting and dislike, be true to the situation and resign, because clearly you won't be doing a good job. The personality, remember, will actually enjoy the conflict in situations like that. It wants you to go on doing a job and not liking it, because then you can complain and emotionalize about it to your friends. This consumes energy which should be used for taking action, one way or the other. Either you do the job by giving up your attitude, or you quit. That's being true. Action always clears deadlocked energy. Exercise 3. Give up being dishonest to yourself and your life. Anytime you're angry, resentful, or depressed, it means you are not being honest. You are not facing life as it is. Anger arises because you are not getting your own way. Instead of being angry, you should be looking at what practical action you can take to get around the obstruction. If there's no practical action you can take, your desire is impractical at this time. To be honest, you must face that fact and give up your wanting. Remember, the mask of your personality is dishonesty itself. It hides the fact that if you have a very exciting experience today, you're likely to undergo depression in a couple of days. The personality gets its satisfaction both ways, and you pay for it. Exercise 4. Don't talk unless you have something to say. The personality is always talking. Talking consumes enormous energy. So this exercise is to learn to talk less. Talking is talking about something, having a discussion, giving your opinions, speculating, rationalizing, and repeating what you've heard. Now, in this exercise, you learn the difference between talking and speaking. For instance, everyone talks about what the politicians should do. You can't talk about what the politicians should do unless you yourself do something towards righting the situation. But you can write to them, phone them, or cast your vote. Then you'll be taking action and able to speak from your own experience. Otherwise, you're just a talker. Only action, or speaking what you live, is true. Exercise 5. No more complaining and blaming. Complaining about your life and blaming other people and things for your difficulties is one of the main leakages of energy. When you hear yourself doing this, stop. The truth is you are responsible for your life. If you're not responsible, it's not your life, and that's absurd. Similarly, if you blame something else for what happens to you, you're giving up responsibility by giving it to others. To be responsible is to be responsible for everything that happens to you, unfolding as your life. Indeed, there are continual difficulties you have to face. They may seem to have been caused by other agencies, but you have to do your best to sort them out. That's life. You don't complain when you get a promotion at work, do you? You don't blame the boss. You feel you deserved it, that you must have earned it. In other words, you accept that you were responsible. So how can you duck out from being responsible for all the not-so-good things that happen to you? Again, it's the personality being two-faced, not being straight. It presents life as it's not, and gets away with it while you continue to blame and complain. Now to break up some seemingly trivial habits that nonetheless eat up vital energy. Exercise 6. Don't allow your fingers to fiddle with a pencil or other knick-knack. Don't drum your fingers on the table. And here's one, specially for young men. Don't, when seated, quiver or tremble your leg. And don't crack your knuckles. Exercise 7. Don't chew gum, unless you chew it intentionally to get the flavour and freshen the mouth. Then spit it out, but not on the pavement, please, which is another thoughtless action of the personality. Don't, in fact never, lick your fingers after touching food. Once you start touching and licking, it will become habitual, and even your best friends won't tell you. Don't ask for morsels to taste from your partner's plate. Either go halves or order some for yourself. That's the personality's greed and its craving for experience, not being responsible for what it wants. Exercise 8, especially for women. Don't run your fingers back through your hair when you're talking or making a point. If you wear makeup, start leaving it off. It only takes 3 months to stop thinking you look like a ghoul. Makeup, of course, is a personality projection, a cover-up hiding the awful truth of the mask. Exercise 9. Conversational habits, remembering that the personality depends on habitual unconsciousness. Stop using expressions like darling, honey, my love, and my dear when addressing your partner, friends, or casual contacts. If anything, use the person's correct name. After you've broken the habit, you'll find the endearing expression occurs naturally and appropriately. But to begin with, to break the habit and make the situation conscious, don't use such terms. Don't pat your partner down with silky words and actions when you know you're planning to be dishonest or you've done something they don't like. Say, I move to pat you down because I don't want you to react to what I've done or what I'm about to do. Then tell them straight what you've done or what you're about to do. Mostly you'll find that you won't do what you were going to do, or you'll just do it and cop the force of their disapproval. At least you'll be honest, and such honesty loosens the mask. Don't say, "What I mean is," and "you know," or any similar fill-in phrases, all unconscious inwords of the Western personality, now globally habitual. Don't say, "to be honest," because that implies you're about to be dishonest, or that you're usually a liar. The point is, such phrases have no real meaning and are actually the mask talking. Exercise 10. Don't frown, screw up your face, or look at the ceiling before you answer a question. It's the personality pretending to be serious, sincere, or intelligent, pretending to be thinking deeply. Know that the personality is a performer and communicates through grimacing and other facial antics to assert its existence. The more serene and unaffected your face, the more in touch you are with your being. Those are the 10 exercises. Now I'd like to say something to parents. Play the fable at the beginning of the tape to your children. Play it as often as they ask you to, and while you see that they are listening attentively, as children will. Listen seriously to their comments and observations. Answer the children's questions honestly, and give them all the time they need to make their observations. The exercise is for you and the child to both see how the personality operates, and how it interrupts and spoils the harmony of the body, the home, and the life. For instance, you will see how the developing child, at only a few months, starts to put on the mask of personality. It actually mimics the unhappy, hostile, and argumentative behavior and mannerisms of the parents and family. A child sees its mother or father pulling faces to show dislike, disgust, or to drive home an argument. It will copy these facial expressions and physical stances, even though it's not feeling those emotions. By copying and putting on the mask, it will learn to actually be angry and feel anger. A child puts on personality for 2 basic reasons. First, it wants attention, and second, a sympathetic reaction to whatever face it pulls, just like in the fable. A child will pretend to be coy or shy by using mannerisms and facial expressions it's seen elsewhere, in the family, at school, or on the telly. The child at first doesn't feel the emotion behind the act. But when encouraged by adults, the child enjoys their reactions and starts to believe and become its own performance, just like the joker who forgot himself. Remember, the personality lives off every kind of emotion. It's just as fulfilled by the negative vibration of anger and frustration as it is by excitement and getting its own way. Now for all you adults, here's an intelligence test. Please ask yourself this question. Do I want to be with, live with, or love somebody who's ever moody, angry, restless, sullen, resentful, or depressed? If the answer is no, then the next question. Why do I believe that anyone should want to live with me while I have those emotions? And finally, a caution. As you dismantle the personality and become more one with life, you will start to feel some disintegration of yourself. You will feel at times you are nothing and that you're losing your identity. Know that it's your personality you're losing, not your identity. Nothing you are or have will disappear. All that goes is the attachment, the identification with the things the personality calls me and mine. And that includes your most intimate and treasured notions of what life and love are about. For in the end I realize that nothing is mine, not even my own body. I'm behind it all, the being behind the mask in the bathroom mirror. Now back to the fable and the happy ending. It took many, many years, but in the end, the man in the mask tired of his miserable up and down existence. One day, he rested beside a lake in the forest. There he gazed into the transparent stillness of the water, and it reminded him of something deep within. I'm enjoying this, he reflected. But is that the joy, or am I the joy? I'm the joy, he cried, jumping to his feet. I'm the joy of life behind all I see. Then he gave thanks, and never looked for excitement again, for he'd found the secret of living joyously. Well, that's the end of the masquerade. The secret is joy. Joy is consciousness. Life is to be enjoyed, to be made conscious by enjoying it. When you enjoy doing anything, you are conscious. If you enjoy gardening, you're conscious while gardening. If you enjoy your work, you're conscious while working. Enjoy every moment of your life, and you're living joyously. It's as simple as that. Joy or consciousness is your natural state. It's always there. It's like the sun, always shining above the shadow of the earth. Stop living in your own shadow, and the sun, the joy, immediately shines. To find joy, nothing positive can be done. It's the practice of negation, shedding the shadow, that does it. Living joyously is the joy of clarity, no problems. My whole life is then a joy or clarity of being, or a being of joy and clarity. This is there now inside you, just waiting to be lived. You don't have to strive for it, search for it, or make it. It's you. It's yours, your very being. And that's the happy ending.